Now, don't get me wrong, I love luxury. I was invited to one of the Lamborghini stores in Doha, and I love cars a lot. But then, your luxury should be funded by the profits of your capital.
Wow. So can you go back there again?
Your luxury, I repeat, should be funded by the profit from your capital.
Hello people, welcome. So on today's program, we here have our favorite and an amazing real estate CEO. Please, sir, may you introduce yourself?
All right, it's amazing to be live at the Thunderman Podcast Studio. My name is MEDICHI, the lead marketer of MEDICHI Homes and Partners Limited, based in the city of Asaba, Delta State.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me on board this
is an amazing. So we got an opportunity to understand that you traveled a few weeks ago to Qatar. Please tell us your experience.
Well, as a child growing up, I read about this beautiful country that had no poor person living in it. And I couldn't understand the concept that while I live in Nigeria, surrounded by poor people, living in the poor neighborhood, part of the poor background, there was a country somewhere called Qatar that had no single person living under $1.
Wow.
So it was a childhood dream, and I said one day, when I start making my own money, how those little kids in us just speak those things. I said one day, when I make my own money, I'm going to visit that beautiful country. So when I stepped into Qatar, I visited two cities, Doha and Lusail. These were one of the two major cities that hosted the World Cup. And sincerely speaking, what you read about Qatar is small compared to what you see when you visit Qatar. Qatar is such an amazing place. That's the best word to describe it. It's so beautiful. You need to visit Qatar.
Wow, this is amazing. Surely, I will definitely do. So tell us, what was your experience when it comes to real estate business over there?
Okay, so the person who drove me around, the first Uber X driver, he was a Lebanese. And whenever I get into any country, having visited some countries, I always make sure that I ask whoever is taking me around about the real estate opportunities or how the real estate works. Because I know that while real estate is a global business, it is also local. That means what work in Nigeria might not work in Qatar. So the first thing I discovered while having an interaction with him, which I later confirmed, was that as an indigent, in quotes, a Qatari, as a young man, when you get to a certain threshold, certain age, you are entitled to up to the tune of $400,000.
Wow.
Yeah, in the equivalent.
Wow.
From the Qatari government to build your own house.
Wow.
Or buy your own house. So automatically, as a Qatari, you're already +1 advantage when it comes to real estate.
Wow.
Because there's access to liquidity, there's access to funding.
Wow.
So, yeah.
This is huge. This is huge. Absolutely. I feel like I know Nigeria, we are growing.
Absolutely.
We are growing. And we'll get there.
Yes.
We'll get there one day.
Exactly.
So what do you think about the real estate when it comes to investors, foreign investors? What do you think about them, coming to invest into Qatar? Do you feel like they have the opportunity to do that, or is the real estate business only for the Qataris?
Okay, so the population of Qatar is around 3 point something million. And out of that 3 point something million, just 15% are indigent.
Wow.
Yeah, I need you to sink that into. There might be a population of maybe just 500,000 people out of the whole population in Qatar who are from Qatar. So the market is powered by foreigners.
Wow.
In short, while moving around the Villaggio Mall, Verdant Place, different malls that I visited after doing business, I discovered that literally it felt like living in a global village. You could see an European by your left, you see an Asian by your right,
wow.
You see an African by your south end. So the real estate market in Qatar is just picking up. A lot of people who visited this beautiful country after the 2022 World Cup decided to go back again.
Wow.
So their airport, Hamad International Airport, is considered one of the world's busiest airports because of the influx. So there is huge potentials as an investor, specifically as a foreign investor who is looking at diversifying your portfolio. You should buy into Qatar properties. And depending on the areas that you're looking at, there are places like the PL Island that's quite more expensive, or for the HNIs, the 1% of the 1%. Those places can go from the range of 15 million, 20 million Qatar Riyal upwards. That's around maybe $6 to $7 million for an apartment. But then there are also the outskirts that you could get something more affordable. So if you're a foreign investor looking at investing into real estate in another country separate from your own, I would advise you to invest into Qatar due to the surge in tourist attraction. That's number one. There is a huge opportunity for Airbnb and short-term rentals.
Wow, this is amazing. I always try to picture, what it feels like to, go into other countries, investing into real estate and other, profitable deals that gives you, money. So this is a good explanation for our viewers out there, watching.
Yeah.
To get. So what do you feel like you got actually from, your experience based on the real estate market? What do you feel like you got that is meant to be invested into Nigeria?
Okay, well, initially I went to Qatar for business, so I think that already gave me an advantage. After sealing the deals that brought me there, I decided to look out for opportunities. And one of the things that I would implement, what we're going to do differently in MEDICHI Homes this 2026 is we're going to open up more options to the average investor. One of such ways we have started already working on it is Palms Residence. Is our first agro real estate. Wow. So we are fusing land ownership with cash flow.
Wow.
That means you no longer need to wait for your land to appreciate. You can start making cash flow right on the spot, because while walking on the streets of Doha and moving around the corners of Lusail in Qatar, I found out that every single thing around me was cash flow real estate.
Wow.
From the Lusail Winter Wonderland that is freezing cold down to the Fairmont beautiful edifice. That's like it's a famous design, and even where I was, Millennium Hotel in Doha, every single thing, every single building I passed represented cash flow. So in 2026, you can trust us at MEDICHI Homes that we're not just going to bring you properties or assets that will give you capital gains. That means you don't need to wait until you sell it before you make money.
Wow.
That while you own it, you are making money from it.
Wow. And
that's why we created Palms Residence. And we're going to be launching more projects this year. And these are things that we picked up from visiting Qatar. Furthermore, we'll be visiting other countries in the next few months, starting with Dubai,
amazing,
Cape Town, before China. And what we are looking at is very simple. We believe that as an investor, you have the right, you are entitled to own properties in multiple markets.
Wow.
So it's no longer because I'm a Nigerian, I should buy only Nigeria.
Wow.
You're a global investor, but you're Nigerian. They are two different things.
Wow. This is huge. I just feel like our viewers will understand better what it feels like to, to be part of this real estate market. It is an amazing opportunity for them, to invest. So what do you have to tell about first-time investors, people that don't know where to belong, there is this kind of fear that comes into first-time investors, especially when it comes to landed property.
Absolutely.
So please, can you, elaborate more on that?
Okay, so when I started out in real estate, I was a teenager, and it's close to a decade now. Next year we'll make it 10 years in the industry.
Amazing.
Then I would advise young people like me to just start buying. But experience has taught me that it's not just to buy, that's the problem. It's to retain the property.
Beautiful.
So what I now advise investors, I would share a basic story. So we had a couple who bought properties from one of our estates in Asaba at MEDICHI Homes. And due to unreconcilable differences, they went their separate ways. Now imagine they did not buy from MEDICHI Homes. There's a high possibility one of the parties could have gone ahead and sold the property.
Wow.
But because we were involved, we are the ones who did that deal for them. We insisted that before we can split this property, two of you must come to the office and, have AC. So we are not just about you buying properties, we're about you retaining that property.
Beautiful.
So that you can get what you worked so hard for and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So in 2026, as a first-time buyer, I will tell you, watch out for the right community. Wow. And one of such beautiful community that you would ever have is MEDICHI Homes. We have something for just the student who is just trying to, start investing in real estate. With as little as 500,000 naira deposit, we can give you a property. And we also have something for the 1% of the 1% who wants to build a hotel, or you want to build your country house mansion in Asaba for 70 million naira. So depending on your budget, or even if you're a middle class earner, we have something that is very cozy and comfortable, a minute from the express road in Asaba, for just with 5 million naira deposit. So we have everything touching you, even as a first-time buyer or an experienced investor. And this is the last word I would give. Please do not make the mistakes your fathers made.
Yes.
Our fathers had access to resources, but because they did not know better, they did not do better. They bought cars, they had the good life. Some of them invested, most of them did not. Please don't repeat that cycle of poverty. The reason why Africa is still where we are today is because there is a recycling of poverty. A young man hits 100 million, 1 billion. The first thing he wants to buy is a Rolls Royce. Now, don't get me wrong, I love luxury. I was invited to one of the Lamborghini stores in Doha, and I love cars a lot. But then, your luxury should be funded by the profits of your capital.
Wow. So can you go back there again?
Your luxury, I repeat, should be funded by the profits from your capital, not your capital in itself.
Wow.
So if you are privileged to hit 100 million, or you did a business, I don't know how you made the first 100 million or a billion, it's not the time to go buy a Rolls Royce. It's the time to recycle that money so that it can give birth to new babies called profits. Yes. Those new babies cannot afford the luxury, the toys, the cars, while your capital is still intact. And there's no better way than to do it the MEDICHI way, this 2026, by owning real estate assets that give you profit and value by MEDICHI.
Wow, this is an amazing experience. Getting to sit down one-on-one with you, discuss about your journey to Qatar and the real estate investments in Qatar. So, sir, we would like to have you more on this podcast, to discuss and to help individuals out there, to guideline them when it comes to investing into properties, in Nigeria and outside the country. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Shout out to Thunderman Podcast Studio. He's doing an amazing work. Please, I need more African voices to reach out and partner with him. He's doing something exceptional, one of a kind in Africa. And we need to hear more African voices.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So, guys, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and stay connected. As we go ahead, bringing you many of these, beautiful deals when it comes to real estate business and co. So, stay tuned, stay subscribed, and stay connected. Have a wonderful day. It's a pleasure to have you again, sir. It's a pleasure to have you again, sir.